Yeah.
For those that are wondering why we're sitting on up here and we haven't started, since this is a publicly acknowledged meeting, we cannot start until 5:30. So if you look at the clock in the back, we will start in about 1 minute and 49 seconds.
There you go. Not to be picky.
No.
49
Brent-
seconds.
Trustee Wood is a pilot, so he likes to look at things right on time, and we agree with him.
I'm a pilot, not a German train driver.
Must be Spirit Airline.
Right?
Yeah. Hey,
JetBlue.
John, you might be able to buy that pretty cheap here soon.
We only fly Spirit.
If I could ask everybody to turn off your phone so that we don't have any interference. Not this way.
Should we count it down? That'd be fun.
Yeah. 3, 2. Welcome to Victor Valley Community College District Special Meeting of the Board of Trustees for Monday, June 10th, 2024, for a selection of a trustee to fill a recently vacated position. Michelle, and first I'd like to introduce our Senior Executive Assistant, Michelle Painter. Michelle will soon be retiring, a well-deserved retirement, and will be replaced by Katie Evil Sizer, right? Yeah.
Good job, Joe.
Cool. I knew if I got that wrong, there would be, yeah. And then last we have Haley Teeter, who's also an assistant here, so thank you. So I'm gonna let either Katie or Michelle decide on who's gonna take a roll call.
I'm gonna have her listen
Okay,
for the first time.
great.
We'll do it tomorrow.
You got it.
And these will be trained meetings.
So there'll be a little bit of learning tonight. We also have a board meeting tomorrow night. We have a graduation on Wednesday night. So, Katie, welcome here. You're gonna have a great time. This is a great place.
Trustee Brady.
Here.
Trustee Pinkerton.
Here.
Trustee Wood.
Here?
Trustee Tarpley.
Here.
Oh.
Student Trustee Weiss.
Here.
Superintendent President Walden.
Here.
I would like to have former president of the Board of Trustees, vice president of the Board of Trustees, and clerk of the Board of Trustees, our famous John Pinkerton, lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Was that enough titles?
Place your right hand over the heart. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to ask Tim Isbell to lead us in a very important prayer tonight to start this meeting. And while Tim comes up here, when he's done, I'm going to ask everybody for a minute of silence. Dennis Henderson, who is the longest standing trustee in the history of Victor Valley Community College. We're 62 years old. He was trustee here for 23 years, accidentally died about 7 weeks ago. We wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't because of Dennis. So when you're done, I'm going to ask for a minute of silence to hopefully, Dennis, I think, is going to watch tonight and be sure that we are doing what we should be as good stewards of Victor Valley Community College District. Tim?
Good evening. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you today We ask for your guidance for this meeting tonight. We ask for your guidance for our board members as they choose the next community member to help grow this college, to help represent an important community of our valley. Father, we pray that your will is done through the appointee of this new person. We pray that the only thing that matters in this room this evening is the future of this college, the future of this valley, and the future of our students. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
So please join me in our Board of Trustees in a minute of silence. Thank you. So good evening. My name's Joseph W. Brady. I'm just happen to be president. This year we change presidents every single year based on a process. I have been here 13 years. I believe I'm the second longest trustee in the history of this great college. A little bit of information about VVC and how important it is to every one of us. You're sitting on a 262-acre campus that has 831 employees. We have a $90 million fully balanced budget where we did not years ago. We are a $600 million plus or minus economic impact to the high desert region. I'd like to introduce the three other trustees that are here tonight. And first I want to say something about them. Trustee Wood came to us at a very critical time in the history of this college where we were not all getting along in here. And since he came here, I think he's brought a lot of balance. He was appointed in, he beat out 11 people and got his appointment in 2013. He is a very well-known attorney, not only in San Bernardino County, but throughout Southern California, and has led some great teams in debating for Oak Hills High School. On my far right is Trustee Tarpley. Jennifer Tarpley came to us in 2018. And she also had competition from 11 candidates. She is well known in the human resource business. She is in the school business. She's involved with Oro Grande School District. She's a great mom, has a great husband, has a great son, and is just a great team player here. So third and not least, Sharon Pinkerton. Well, I can't imagine any of you don't know Sharon. Sharon and John are very much a part of this school. Sharon is serving her first term. She's up for re-election in November this year, and we very hope that she decides to renew that. And with that, I'd like to maybe start with Jennifer Tarpley and maybe talk for a minute about your thought about tonight's process. The one thing I want to tell you is three of us, so Jennifer Tarpley, myself, and Brandon Wood, have all sat in your shoes on this night. I got lucky. I beat out 24 people in a very, very long meeting. I would tell you, be calm. You're going to get 4 minutes. At the 4-minute mark, I will cut you off. And I mean, when I say cut you off, you're cut off. Because if we give you 30 seconds more, I have to bring up everybody behind you or in front of you, and so they have to have that. It's a long night. Just be calm. This is a great experience. We want somebody here to be a part of this great group. So, Jennifer Tarpley, Trustee Tarpley.
Thank you.
Sure.
So I think I was the most recently appointed in 2018, and it was a very daunting interview process. Much like this room, it was crowded. They did it a little bit differently, I believe, than we're doing tonight. We're trying to be more organized now, but just be yourselves, please. Let us know who you really are at your core is what I would ask of you, just so that we can get to know you. This is hard because we read a bunch of applications and letters, and now we just want to get to know you and make sure that you're here for the right reasons. And that's the students.
Thanks. I forgot to introduce our student president. Jennifer, you want to tell us? Let me tell you, that's not a very good forget, because we're all here for one reason, our students. So Jennifer, would you like to tell us, you get 2 minutes, since I screwed up. Yeah.
I'll just take a few couple seconds. But I'm Jennifer Weiss. I've been this past year's ASB president and student trustee. My focus has really been on the students and their lifestyle here on campus, and also basic needs. If you don't know, we have a lot of students in need or who are suffering from basic needs insecurity. So I've had a lot of focus on that this year. I am one of 3 authors for 3 state recognized resolutions by SSCCC, one for our EBT cards, getting them on college campuses, another for student housing, clarifying the rubric for students, and another one for our esports program, getting funding for that because it is, we want it recognized as a sport, as it is in the high school districts. On top of that, I've traveled to Washington, D.C. 4 times now to advocate for students, and I've been to Congress. I've talked to senators and congressmen, again, advocating for rights such as our financial aid. And that's my priority. This is my last year. I will be transferring, and I hope to continue that. Thank you.
Jennifer has been one of the most engaging student presidents I think any one of us have ever seen. She didn't tell you she's transferring to UCLA. She's going to become a Bruin. All of us were on a trip with her back to Washington in February. It was really the last time, it was actually the last time that we were all together in an event like that when Trustee Henderson was with us. And I can tell you one thing. It's one thing for a congressman to listen to any one of us up here. It's another thing when you get 4 very engaged students sitting down and you've got Pete Aguilar, who's 3rd in command on the Democratic side. I mean, he is totally focused on what they're saying. So, Jennifer, we're going to miss that passion. Hopefully you're going to pass it on to somebody else.
Absolutely.
And great.
Thank you.
So, Trustee Wood.
All right, well, first of all, welcome and thank you for your interest. Like Jennifer said, she went through the process, I went through the process. I know there's probably some nerves out there, but I would agree with Jennifer that we just want to see the real you, which is hard to do in a room full of people and with only 4 minutes. I get it. I would say that I reviewed every application pack, all of them thoroughly, twice, once a very slow, thorough review where I was kind of taking notes, committing things to memory slowly, and then waited a couple of days before I went through for our kind of scoring for the purposes of the cut, and then ran through all the application packets again a second time, more of a quick read, just to make sure that somebody wasn't coming up or going down a point here or there, make sure that my head was still in the same spot as it was before. I would say also thank you very much to all the people who applied, the people who made the cut, the people who didn't make the cut. There were a lot of excellent applicants. The applications were very hard to score. It was very, very difficult to go through. There were skill sets and histories and experiences that made every single one of the applicants very attractive and made them a good choice. I could see through the applications, I think anyway, what they would bring to the table if they were up here with us. And so with that, at this point, I'll say for me, I speak for myself, I suspect there may be agreements down the line here, but try to avoid wasting your 4 minutes repeating what was already in your application packet. I'm very familiar with it, and I feel like you'd probably be wasting your valuable 4 minutes by repeating what's already in there. So try to cover things that aren't in there, some more personal or your passions, what you think you could bring to the table, how you think you could help VVC, how you could help students, what it is that you bring to the table, and how you can round out this group up here. That's pretty much what I'd be most interested in hearing. And take a deep breath and make this even more difficult for us than it's already been. It has not been difficult or not been easy this far to go through these applications and try to to whittle it down to one. So that's a good thing. I'm happy that we have so many qualified applicants, but it does make our job very difficult and a little bit miserable, to be perfectly honest, to have to get it down to one. But we're here to listen, so knock our socks off.
Last but not least, trustee Sharon Pinkerton, who's vice president of our board.
I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and I'm so happy to see that everyone, how many people are interested in this. And as they all set up here, it's very hard to choose who it's going to be. I mean, I read through each one of these, and you're all so very qualified. But I want to say thank you again for coming out, and like I said, this is going to be really a difficult thing for us to do because each one of you is very, very well qualified. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to introduce somebody that is new to many of you, not new to us, somebody that our Board of Trustees is extremely proud to work with, and as cabinet, that's Dr. Daniel Walden. Dr. So I'm going to give you a little story. I'm trying to make it short, but I'm going to try to make a point. I came here in February of 2011. And between February of 2011 and until our board, I think, grew up, and we finally came together in June of 2014. So we had 3.5 years of very toxic and very hard meetings in this room. We hired a gentleman by the name of Dr. Roger Wagner. Dr. Wagner was able to come on in and what I called help stabilize the ship. We had a $4 million structural deficit at the time. We were losing our accreditation. We have a full accreditation today, and we have a mandatory 16.7% reserve. I say a mandatory 16.7 reserve. We're here to be sure that we're going to be in business tomorrow. So Dr. Wagner was able to help stabilize us, and Dr. Wagner was also able to get all of us on the board. So Jennifer Tarpley, Trustee Tarpley was hired during that period of time, and Trustee Brandon came in to help stabilize us, but to help us become better trustees. And we're all indebted to him forever. Trustee Pinkerton in the back was a part of that whole process. Then on January 1st, Dr. Wagner resigned in December of 2018. And he resigned because he wanted to enjoy life, had no idea that soon after he resigned did he contract cancer. He's still alive today. He's in our thoughts and prayers. Just a great guy to be around. We were absolutely blessed to then be able to find Dr. Daniel Walden. So Dr. Walden started on January 1st of 2018. We have just given him a 4-year contract, which is something that boards like us do not give. And it should tell you that he gets reviewed every 6 months. There's no holds barred in doing that review. He is a great team leader. He has created a great staff. He has 831 people that work with him. So the way it works is Dr. Walden works for the board and the employees work for Dr. Walden. So as a trustee, you learn that while I thought when I came here that I could say to the president superintendent, I wanted the bathroom wall pink, that's not what trustees do. We're here to set policy, and our most important job, our only important job, is to hire a president superintendent. So a great pleasure tonight. I'd like to introduce somebody that we love working with. We want to find somebody that's going to complement this great team. We have a great team. I think the greatest team that this college has ever seen. And I want Dr. Walden to introduce some of his great cabinet members that make this college. We are the number one, we're the fastest growing college in California, and we're in the top 3 in the United States of America. And that says a lot. I want to say one thing before I forget about President Jennifer down here. She leads an ASB, so there are 5,300 universities in the country, public, private, and not-for-profit and community colleges. She's involved with the Associated Student Body, which Mr. Sewell over here, who's going to be our timer tonight, is. Our Associated Student Body is in the top 25 of all colleges in the United States. So it should tell you something. So with that, I'm honored to introduce Dr. Daniel Walden.
Well, thank you. So just a couple of weeks ago, we had a workshop training that the PPL consultants came in and conducted for all of the applicants. So I had a wonderful evening with all of you then, and so it's good to see you back here tonight. And I talked a lot that night, so I won't say much tonight, except that glad that you're here and And the rest of you that are not one of the candidates for the board, the fact that you're interested, that you're in this room, and we have an overflow room over here that's got a video of the room, so if you guys at the back get tired of standing, you can probably find a seat over there. We're just here tonight to let this board interact with the candidates and choose our next trustee. I have the best job in all of the high desert. In fact, I have the best job in California, and that's being able to be the superintendent president of this great college. And we are excited to be the fastest growing. It's challenging, but we're on the map. And everywhere I go, to all meetings across this state, people are talking about what's happening in Victor Valley, not just for enrollments, for student success, for diversity, for equity, for inclusion, and for all the wonderful things that are good for our students. So every decision that I make or that I'm part of making, I think first, what is the best for students? As we make this decision, the decision needs to be based on what is best for students, not what's best for me, not what's best for faculty or staff or administrators, but what's best. We want all of them, we want our employees to have a 5-star experience, but we want them to have that, and we want them to transmit that to the students so they have that experience as well. So I'd like to introduce one person here tonight that's sitting right here, our general counsel for the college. So he is at a beckoning call. I just call him anytime, day or night, and I love that about him. But Jeff Morris, thank you for being here tonight to
My pleasure.
keep us on track and make sure we don't get in trouble.
Great, thank you.
So I have my cabinet here tonight, and that's my vice presidents. So I'm going to start over here, Vice President of Human Resources. I'd like each one of them to stand. Monica Martinez. So if you do get this position, she'll help you get your insurance and your big $400 a month check. She'll see that that's coming to you. And then next to her is our Deputy Superintendent, Executive Vice President of Administrative Services, John Nolan. John runs the business side of the house, the payroll, the maintenance and operations, the all that kind of stuff. You know, that's real exciting. And then across in the aisle over here is our Executive Vice President of Instruction, Student Innovation, and Student Success, Dr. Todd Scott. Next to him is our Associate Vice President of Instruction, Dr. Mackenzie Tarango. Next we have, standing tall, our Vice President of Student Services, Arthur Lopez.
We always say he's the second best dressed guy in the room.
Yeah. And so then we have our Chief Instructional Officer, Jay Cohen. What'd I say? Oh, I said instruction, Chief Information Officer. He's the techie guy, right? We got instruction over here. They thought they got a third helper, so. All right, thank you.
Thank you. There's some things I do need to read off the manuscript here, so just kind of bear with me. Public comment instruction. Member of the public may participate in the meeting. If you wish to make a public comment, please complete a public comment card found either here, or if somebody wanted to speak, they could come up right now, couldn't they? Yeah, it's in the back. I want to be sure nobody can walk out of here and say they didn't get a chance to speak. That would go to Michelle Painter. You'll have the opportunity to speak at the appropriate time during the meeting, which will be real soon here. Comment cards must be submitted before the start of the board meeting in order to be recognized during the meeting. It is the intention, I know. It is the intention of Victor Valley Community College District to comply with the American with Disabilities Act in all respects. If you should require special accommodations or assistance to attend or participate in the meeting or require the agenda be made available in the appropriate alternative format, please request at least 48 hours prior to the meeting of Vice President of Human Resources Monica Martinez, Victor Valley College, 18422 Bear Valley Road, Victorville, 92395-5849, 760-245-4271, extension 2455. This is according to Government Code, Section 54954.2. So we've gone through this. I have two people that wish to speak under the public comment, and the first one is Frank Castanos, 3.1. He's speaking in behalf of Mr. Stephen Terrell, who is one of the applicants and finalists. Hello, Mr. Costanos.
All right. Good evening, Board of Trustees. My name is Frank Castaños. I'm here tonight as a private citizen. I'm here tonight to present on behalf of Steve Terrell for consideration as Board of Trustee. Steve is not able to be present tonight due to a previously scheduled work assignment. However, I'm honored that Steve asked me to speak for him. Steve is very interested in this position and is confident that he can add value to this community as a trustee. His work experience and collaboration throughout the years is worth recognition and has resulted in positive outcomes for VVC, K-12, and industry. As Steve puts it, he does not come with any agenda other than to help our region. Steve is currently the maintenance manager with Mitsubishi Cement. He has great understanding of manufacturing and mining. His career has evolved into uplifting education and workforce development. My first collaboration with Steve began in 2016. VVC has the goal to develop an industry committee around manufacturing sectors. Its purpose was to bring industry together with education and identify areas for alignment. Steve emerged as the group's first chairman and formed what would be later known as the High Desert Manufacturers Council. Steve led this group in many ways that brought positive outcomes. Rather than just focusing on his needs, he was intentional to ensure that all efforts benefited the sectors and students involved. He quickly became a go-to resource for much of the community. What made this group unique was that most advisories are educationally led. However, this group was led by industry and supported by education. Steve helped VVC develop customized welding program for businesses. Additionally, he regularly hosts student field trips at Mitsubishi Cement. On all the tours that I've attended, Steve led the groups himself. He engages with students to spark interest and highlights manufacturing as a career. His passion for student success is evident. He was helpful in developing VVC's industrial maintenance program. Without Steve's persistence, VVC would not be as developed as we are at the High Desert Training Center. Steve is constantly promoting the college as a resource and solution to people's needs. Overall, Steve has proven history with VVC and our community through service, leadership, and outcomes. His efforts have resulted in staff attending VVC for the first time, students obtaining employment, and the youth being exposed to local career opportunities. Thank you for this time, and please consider Steve Terrell for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Costanos. Second is Kenny Kenny, hopefully I didn't butcher your name. Can you tell us who you are publicly?
Kenny McDermott.
Oh, thank you. And you're speaking on behalf of Robert Ritchie.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You have 3 minutes.
Members of the Board of Trustees, and this is all in Bob's words, not mine. So, I sincerely apologize for not being here in person, but 50th wedding anniversaries just don't happen that often. And my wife and I made arrangements to celebrate ours by taking a cruise. I still wish to be considered for the vacant Area 5 trustee position, and I've asked Kenny McDermott, a friend of mine for over 50 years, to read my statement. As I stated in my application documents, I have lived in Apple Valley continuously since 1967. I received my associate's degree from Victor Valley College and was employed here for 22 years. That gives me the unique ability to see the college from the perspective of a student, an employee, and a member of the community. When the college first opened its doors in 1965, there were only 5 buildings and approximately 500 students. Today, enrollment is over 15,000, and there are over 30 major buildings, making Victor Valley College the fastest growing community college in California. The college not only serves as a vital stepping stone between high school diploma and a 4-year college degree, but also offers an array of vocational and community programs as well. As my resume shows, I have experience in planning and adhering to budgets, resource allocation, and long-range planning. I believe that I would bring valuable insight, experience, and vision to the Board of Trustees at Victor Valley College. Dennis Henderson was a friend of mine, and while I don't pretend that I can fill his shoes, I can promise you this. If I am selected to fill this board vacancy, every decision that I make will be based on what is best for the students and the communities that we serve. Thank you, Robert H. Ritchie, Jr.
Thank you. So before I have our first person come on up here. So there were 29 people that applied. 7 people did not live in the district, so they could not be considered. We're then down to 22. All those resumes were read, and there was a numerical kind of a cutoff based on some averages that we used. So total scores and points, total amount of points you could get were a max of 19, and we had a low of 9. So the cutoff was at 10 points. So if somebody says to you, why didn't I get invited, that's probably why. So we're now going to, by alphabetical, by first name, bring up people in order. So it's not by the points that they got, it's by their first name only, okay? So our first guest will be, Jeff, did I miss anything?
Just the scoring system that was followed, the top score would have been 20,
Oh, okay.
potentially.
Yep.
And
That's right,
the cutoff was 11
Yeah.
total.
So, yeah, so the top number that got in this was 17, well, actually 19. So we had a couple people at the very, very top.
Cutoff was 11.
Yeah, so. Our first speaker tonight with 4 minutes is Bertha Barcio Sullivan. Ms. Sullivan, would you like to come forward? And again, everybody just be calm, just take a deep breath, take some time, and
Good evening. I did not prepare a speech, but I'm going to just go ahead and present myself. First of all, thank you for inviting me. Good evening, Board of Trustees, President, Ms. Brady. So tonight, I'm just going to present to you part of what is not written in the information I provided to you earlier. I've lived in the high desert for over 20 years. I am a product of a community college, and I transferred to a university. And I feel that most of my career has been in local government. Also, I have volunteered for over 20 years in the high desert, working together with the county, specifically for underserved minorities and also underserved students. So I've been like boots on the ground. I have tutored. I have served on like first to five. I've done a lot of youth accountability work. So I feel that I'm a good candidate because of that background and also because of the desire that I have to contribute and continue to contribute to a place that I really love residing in. I've seen the Victor Valley College progress, increase its student body, and it's nice to see that the buildings are beautiful nowadays, and I'm glad that I'm part of that. What else can I say to you? Again, most of my career has been in government, and I'm currently employed. I do have a husband who puts up with me and allows me to have the time and the freedom to be able to give back to the community. I've been a public servant my entire career. So that's pretty much about me. I hope that's,
thank you.
again, thank you.
We're going to hold as a board our questions for some trustees at the end. Let everybody go through, write down our questions, and then go from there. Our second speaker is Regina Cervantes.
Good evening, everybody. First, I'd like to congratulate all the other applicants in achieving the milestone of arriving at this point in the selection process and our commitment to serve VVC and our community. I'm in such a different place today than in 2014 as a single mom who dropped off my daughter Aurelia and later my son Aiden for their first day of college here. Those days at VVC and later on attending myself. Thank you to VVC. Thanks to VVC, I was able to experience personal, educational, and emotional growth. Because in learning, we become much better people and contributors to our community. Now, I would like to tell you about my previous experience serving on other boards. Most recently, I've been serving as a financial secretary for an organization called the Blue Star Mothers of America. It's a support group for mothers of active duty or members who have been previously active in the military. We also support our local veterans and deployed military members through mailing packages. Our main focus are the mothers of deployed members like myself. Our chapter is called High Desert Blue Star Mothers of America, California 51. Previously, I served on the board of the Rose O'Leary Community Center Board of Directors, as well as being the executive director of the Rose O'Leary Community Center here in the High Desert. We assisted members in the community through clothing drives and a food pantry that met once a week, providing up to 125 families a week with nutritional assistance, including fresh vegetables and canned goods and meats. My first experience serving on a board was in the Oklahoma City National Memorial on one of the 3 components that makes their national memorial. They have the museum, the Memorial Garden, and the Memorial Institute for the Prevention of Terrorism. Through the Memorial Institute for the Prevention of Terrorism, which assisted responders, law enforcement, and government agencies by providing access to their database of information concerning terrorism and terrorism response. That program was funded by the Department of Justice. I served on the Institute's Outreach Committee as the only first responder and 9/11 survivor invited to join the Outreach Committee in Oklahoma City. I have a long history of community service that started when I was 14 years old. My interest in applying to serve on this board stems from the fact that Victor Valley College is a valuable learning institution in our high desert community. I've been a resident of the high desert since 2010, and my children started attending here in 2014. I'll be an advocate and representative for members of my college district in Apple Valley. I feel that my background as a responder, my education and experience in healthcare will assist me in this endeavor in supporting the positive vision Victor Valley College has for its continued growth into being a vital learning gem in the high desert. If appointed, I plan to donate my salary towards a scholarship to assist in the dreams of future first responders gaining the education they need and they cannot afford. That's always been my dream. I want to thank our community for coming to this and all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Fred Dearborn.
President and Superintendent Dr. Walden, President Brady, board members, our council, our student president, and all of you in the audience, including administrators and faculty, the candidates, and your families that came to support you, families and friends. If selected, I would have the dubious distinction, I think, of being the oldest member of the board, though not certainly the wisest. I left off on my application some of my earlier life, so I thought I would focus on that a little bit right now. After getting my bachelor's in business administration, I shortly thereafter went into the military and completed officer candidate school back in Fort Belvoir, Virginia. That was a rigorous experience for me, and I kind of felt like that was a bigger accomplishment than the 2 master's degrees I got later. It was rough. And I came out as a second lieutenant, as a military intelligence officer. They tell me that's an oxymoron. So following that career, short career, actually it was 3 years, and I spent a year of that in Vietnam. Following that, I shortly thereafter went to work for the Southland Corporation, which is the company that owns 7-Eleven food stores. And I worked as a field consultant there. And my job mainly was to try to convince franchisees that they would benefit by following the program of the franchisor, which is 7-Eleven food stores. So that was a challenge, especially trying to get them to see the benefit of going from the traditional 16 hours a day, 7 to 11, to 24 hours. So that was a big challenge for a lot of people and a difficult sell, but we were very successful in doing that. So shortly after that, I did that for about 4 years, and that included a stint as an area training manager where I trained new franchisees how to run their business. Shortly after that, I then franchised my own store, and over the years had 3 different stores, 2 of them in Apple Valley. My oldest daughter, who I saw recently on a trip up to Sun Valley and Boise area, told me that she thought maybe she'd write a book about what it's like to grow up in a 7-Eleven store. So now her younger sister, I actually had working more than the older sister, and it was kind of interesting. We had a store in San Bernardino, and she was 9 years old, and so I had her running the cash register. Believe it or not, she could wait on customers, she could make the change, everything. I'd be in the back room counting money, and I had a little intercom so that, you know, if she had a question, she could ask me, but she's out there running the store by herself, and all these people would say, well, how old are you, and how did you get a job? And so I made a T-shirt for her, and it said, I'm 9 years old, and my dad owns a place. So, and she ended up getting an MBA, and then she has a job in healthcare and is doing really well. Excuse me. So after 25 years in the franchise business is when I got involved with education. And so some of this will be a little bit redundant because it's on my, is that it right there? Woo.
Sorry. 4 minutes.
Okay, the rest of it you heard, so.
That was a great story. So Laura, I'm going to try to spell your name. You got it. Okay, thanks. Sorry. I didn't want to butcher it, so.
Sounds like asparagus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Wow, okay. Thank you. You bailed me out.
Hello, Dr. Walden, President Brady, honorable trustees. My name's Laura DeVericus. Thank you so much for this honor. To be invited here to be a candidate for this open position is just really an honor, and I appreciate it so much. I first wanted to say that I am so sorry about Mr. Henderson's unexpected passing. I know he was a long time and valued member of the board. And when I heard about this position, I did a little bit of research to see what it was like. I looked at some of the older board meetings, and the one in May was just, it was amazing. The funny stories they had about Mr. Henderson and sweet things they had to say was great. Even Trustee Wood mentioned that it's just a reminder that tomorrow's not promised, that we've got to do the scary things and live our lives and put ourselves out there. And it's kind of why I'm here. It's a little bit scary standing in front of strangers to be judged just to see if you're good enough to be on the board, but I think it'd be scarier to just not come or not apply or just say, you know, it just sounds too hard or embarrassing or anything like that. So here I am living my life, doing what I can. I was really excited when I got the postcard in the mail. I was like, I live in Apple Valley, I'm a registered voter, I qualify, I'm gonna try this. And there's a couple reasons, mostly because some of the things that I love about life are education and student success and serving my community. Last month at the board meeting, Nathan Freeman spoke about growth in Hesperia, and it got me thinking about just growth in the high desert as a whole and how Victor Valley College, it seems like you're preparing for these student success already. And that aligns with, I think it's, let me just look real quick at my notes, that's goal number 5 that you have. And so I was like, this is amazing because the community is already thinking about, oh, our community is growing, the college is growing, we're putting it all together, we're thinking ahead. It looks like Victor Valley College is really thinking ahead about what students are gonna need, and that's gonna help our entire community. Let's see. So a little bit about me. I have some unique experiences that I think would be valuable to the board. I have about 15 years of education experience. Right now I own a preschool, so I teach a lot of toddlers, but I've also taught elementary school and middle school, and one of my longtime goals is to teach at higher education levels. So this is amazing that I'm even here. One of my philosophies as an educator was to create classroom communities where students felt comfortable, safe to make mistakes, where adults and children all felt respected. And when I read through the goals, I was like, oh, that really aligns with goal number 2 that the college has. So I'm like, I would be a pretty good fit because I kind of see learning the same way. I've taught in Texas, North Carolina, California, Germany, so I've taught in many different places. I've been able to adapt, lots of different cultures, different operations. So I'm a quick learner and I can adapt. Before I was an educator, I was a weather forecaster and observer for the Air Force. And I was awarded Airman of the Year twice at my squadron and did one tour in Iraq. It was a lot of fun, really good experiences, and I think that helped me grow up a lot. My husband recently retired from the Air Force, and we decided to put down roots in Apple Valley, buy a business there. I have a 10-year-old son. He'll be 11 at the end of this month, and he lives with us. And I love our community. I've met so many people, and it's amazing. I'm a lifelong learner. I just finished my second master's degree in 2022, and I am getting the gears in motion for my doctorate in educational technology with an emphasis on games and simulations, because I think having fun while you're learning is the best way to learn. That's a little bit about me. I thank you so much for your time. It's really been an honor, and I hope that you've got a little bit of a glimpse of who I am as a person and why I might be the person that you need on the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeremy Garado? Did I even get close? I know on the Jeremy, I couldn't screw that one up, but so, sorry about that.
No, not a problem at all.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity. I grew up here in the high desert, grew up in Apple Valley, moved up here in '93, and I left for the Army in 2003, swore up and down I would never come back to the desert. I ended up back here though. So 2010, after I deployed to Iraq as part of the surge, I, like many veterans, was tired of the Army and decided, you know what, I want to go and be a civilian, pursue my educational goals. I was woefully unprepared for the real world. So in 2011, I ended up at VVC and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And I am very thankful for this, this college. It taught me not only what I wanted to do with my life, but it taught me how to learn. So I used to tell my soldiers all the time, it's not so much about what you're learning, but how to learn that. It sounds weird, but it's always worked for me. And so this place gave me so many opportunities. It was after I graduated from here, I was able to actually secure my first job that I love so much coming out of active duty. And I have VVC to thank for that. Following that, I decided to go back to school. Long story short, I got 3 masters and I'm working on my doctorates right now. And if I wouldn't be here today doing that if not for the fact that all the opportunities that I had here, all the relationships that I built here. It culminated in me becoming a commander in the Army. I was a commander for over 12 years, 12 very long years. Adult daycare is what I called it. But I greatly enjoyed that time, and I had that opportunity while I was going through school. That whole time, my soldiers got to see me in action. Like, how could you do this and still go to school? And I was able to demonstrate that to them. And it was at that time I realized that public service is something that I have a passion for. When I look at all the jobs that I held, I worked as an animal control technician taking care of animals. I went from that to working at the prison over at FCC Victorville, where I took care of inmates for a few years before I could get to my true passion, which is human resources. I currently work as a human resources specialist for the Department of the Army as a civilian, hiring civilians for Army research laboratories. There's no way I could be there to be doing that job today, which I love so much, if not for the opportunities that I had starting here. And I want to give back to the community. I want to give back to the students, and if I can reach even just one student the way that the college was able to reach me, then I feel like I've done something to contribute back to the community that I think has given so much to me. Particularly, and again, I mentioned veteran causes because 20 years in the Army, I just retired in March. It's a near and dear passion to myself, and when I transitioned out, I didn't know all the resources that were available to me, and I didn't know who to talk to and connect to. And so I hope that I can bring that to the table and really work towards, as I feel, a underserviced part of the community. A little bit about myself. I'm really into motorcycles. I'm currently volunteering and I'm a part of a combat veterans motorcycle association where we raise funds for veterans. An example of that was a veteran that was he was diagnosed with stage 4 terminal cancer that was very aggressive, and we were able to put together an event to raise money for him and his family because the transition was going to be pretty rough. But that's something that I'm very passionate about. I get to do the thing that I love, or both things that I love. And I hope that I can bring that passion to this if selected as well. I want to thank you for the time, and I hope that the decision's easy. Thank you.
There you go. That was perfectly timed down to the second. Our next is Brian Gillespie.
Good evening, Dr. Walden, board members. My name is Brian Gillespie. I'd like to share with you why I'd like to join the board and why I feel like I'm qualified for the position. A simple answer is that I want to make a difference. I grew up in the high desert, moved up here in 1975, went to elementary school, graduated from Apple Valley High School, and then I attended Victor Valley College. My wife and my son are both alumni of Victor Valley College. My son just finished Concordia and has started substitute teaching in the area. My wife is a director of instruction. And I have a daughter that's planning on attending Victor Valley College, the culinary program in the spring. I enrolled at Victor Valley College from 91 to 94. During the time at VVC, it had a profound impact on my life. I still remember the classes I took with Professor Mayer. He taught me about grace, and Professor Dupree. I still think that might be his government class, the toughest class I took in all of my college career. He gave me focus and what I wanted to do with my life. They provided me with direction that I needed to move forward in the field of education. I truly believe that I would not be where I'm at today without the support and guidance that I received during my time at VVC. As the principal of Options for Youth, I think it's incredibly important to have a positive relationship with Victor Valley College. Many of the students that we serve at our school choose to attend Victor Valley College. As I have progressed in my career in education, I've looked for opportunities to partner with VVC to make a difference in the lives of the children that I serve. I work collaboratively with Elizabeth Duarte and the Upward Bound program for over 10 years. We provided teachers and support for this program. I've been a part of the planning committee for both the High Desert Education Summit and the VVC Hall of Fame Awards. It has been attending these events and attending presentations by Dr. Walden that have filled me with a sense of excitement for the future of Victor Valley College. I'm excited about the growth of the CTE program at VVC. I was just talking to Darren Polson at the Alumni Award Ceremony about some of the CTE classes that he is working on in the area of water and waste management. Just walking around the campus, you can see the incredible things that are happening at VVC. With the growth that is being projected in our area, I believe that Victor Valley College is positioning itself to truly prepare the students it serves for the future of the high desert. I'd like to be a part of the changes that I am seeing. I believe that I'm qualified to serve on the board because of my education experience working with governing boards. I have a master's degree in curriculum instruction from Chapman University and a master's degree in educational leadership from Pepperdine. I've devoted the last 23 years of service to students in the high desert in the capacity of a teacher, assistant principal, and principal. I regularly attend board meetings so I can better understand what is happening in the Victor Valley School District. As the principal of Options for Youth, I'm an active participant in my board meetings. We're required to go through Brown Act training every year, so I'm aware of the legal responsibilities of a governing board. I'm also the incoming president and board member of the Victor Valley Rotary Club. That's something I'm very passionate about. As you guys are aware, Victor Valley Rotary Club has donated thousands of dollars to not only Victor Valley College, but other schools in the area, and they're devoted to furthering the education of students. What I've learned with my involvement in governing boards is that one of the most important skills the board member can have is the ability to listen. They also need to take the time to truly understand an issue and work collaboratively with others to come to the best conclusion to support the mission of the program and the student it serves. Throughout my career as an educator, I've developed strength in these areas. I believe my passion in education and commitment to serving the youth of the high desert make me an excellent candidate for this position. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me, and I hope that I am what you're looking for to join the Victor Valley College Board of Trustees. Thank you.
Thank you. Starlee Luna. Hi.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and the Board of Trustees. Thank you for inviting me here tonight, and I felt privileged to be in this group. Let me tell you a little bit of myself, and so I won't cover what's in my resume. I moved here and migrated here in 1975. Finished my Bachelor's of Nursing in the Philippines, and then I moved on to take my Master's in Nursing Administration at Loma Linda University. So I was both a nurse educator and also a staff nurse clinically. And I have been in education for 30 years. But I want to pride myself into what I have contributed to Victor Valley College. I started as a part-time and per diem faculty here in 1996, then became a full-time tenured in 1998. And so what I would like to pride about me and my team and the faculty is that nursing has always been the excellent output in our education, is that we were always top 5 to 10 of what is highest in the nation. So we had excellent graduates that were up there passing, our pass rate is 98% to 100%, and we pride in that. And while I was here for until 2021, I retired as an emeritus professor here at Victor Valley College. So why do I want to join the team? It's because I know that my heart and my core is advancing the program of Victor Valley College and also be a part of the professional accomplishment here. And what I want to also highlight is that in the early 2000s, I was part of the nursing faculty that came together and made a presentation to the board in this meeting, in this hall, when Dr., the owner of Desert Valley Hospital, Permready, gave us that building after our effort to promote that we needed a school of nursing. So we have, let me tell you, we have state-of-the-art skills lab that I can pride of, and we have excellent students, in fact, excellent nurses in our community. Another thing I want to pride in is that I participated in student committees, especially for preparing for certifications and educational surveys and all that. But I also want to special mention and commend Dr. Walden for what you have brought here. And I've seen that you have elevated and maintained the program. So another thing is that I like to start programs. I have started a campaign for hoping to build a church. And so far, we have gained $300,000 to start with. And I do help communities to help our students and also the needy and the poor, giving out goods for them to help them with their livelihood. And I also like to support students. And one time I supported the foundation of VVC, and I give money to abroad for helping students in their education. So I believe in this mission. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was perfectly timed. Thanks for being a professor here. Peter Morris.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me be here. My name is Pete Morris, or Peter Morris. I was born and raised in Apple Valley in the high desert. Graduated high school, had dreams of going to a four-year college and competing in track and field. Had a bad injury, so I had to put that on hold, and so I moved out of the area and went to a community college in San Diego to run for a particular coach and rehab my injury. That did not work out. Had a couple of surgeries. That is where I really embraced community college because it allowed me to transfer to a four-year school and graduate. And later on in my career, I went and achieved a MBA as well. So I am a big fan of community colleges, so I would be really proud to represent this college here. After 4 years after graduation from my bachelor's, I moved back to the high desert, and my career has been here, and it's been in manufacturing. I've worked for 2 employers. AFG Industries, known as the glass plant, I was there for 19 years. That's where I got my start in manufacturing, really learned how to work for a 24/7 operation and deal with the beast of manufacturing. Became the human resources manager eventually. Was part of a management group, 7 subject matter experts or department managers, but we worked together. We met daily, dealing with the business and dealing with all of the surprises that come with manufacturing, but got involved with group decision-making, consensus decision-making. I became the facilitator of a high involvement management philosophy, which was involving the employees in management decisions such as hiring and such as monitoring attendance of their peers and dealing with disciplinary issues. So that was a lot of fun being a facilitator and a coach like that. After 18 years, the glass plant closed during in the midst of the housing bubble. And so I dealt with 250 plus employees and families that had to deal with losing their jobs abruptly. While it was really tough to deal with, it was a valuable experience for me. Then I transitioned from glass into plastics. Plastipack Packaging is a global company. They set shop up in 2009 on the George Air Force Base. And it's ironic, I work a quarter of a mile where my wife's father used to land F-4s and take off. So again, with Plastipack Packaging, I work with a group of 5 people, and daily basis, we make group decision-making on how to run a plant. So I just put an extreme high value on education, and my job has allowed me to get involved with the community. With my current employer, I've been involved with local high schools. I present at career days. I present in the classrooms when teachers ask me to. I'm involved with the Mountain Desert Career Pathways, which is 9 different schools, and our company just was involved with mock interviews, trying to help students prepare for the real world. Was also involved with Desert Communities United Way for about 8 years, and helping with the transition down into the Inland Empire United Way. That was back in 2015. I also helped with policy review and revision with the employees of the Desert Communities United Way, and helped rewrite their handbook. So I was putting my subject matter to work for the United Way. So I appreciate you having me, and I feel I would be a valuable member of this board, working together and not being afraid to voice opinion, but work together to come to decisions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Peter, Jason, you need to help me on this. That's exactly what I was going to. Huh? I've had some hard names tonight.
Yeah, graham crackers and milk was not easy to obtain in kindergarten, let me tell you. Well, good evening, everyone that has gathered for tonight's meeting. My name is Jason Puterbaum. As a resident of the High Desert for over 40 years, I'm here to express my interest in becoming a member of the Victor Valley Community College Board of Trustees. Presently, it's important to choose a representative of District 5 that will best assist our established board members with moving forward with the idea of overall community success through continued effective management of the operational concerns of this college. At this time, I would like to offer a unique skill set obtained through my personal work history, along with my long-standing experience as a High Desert resident, for service to the board's ongoing agenda. If chosen to serve as a member of the Board of Trustees, I will provide dedicated focus towards both current and future programs, such as dual concurrent enrollment, which allows college credit for high school students, that provides them the possibility to obtain an associate's degree along with their milestone of a high school diploma. The importance of the Board of Trustees to work together as a team to make crucial decisions affecting the success of the college cannot be overstated. Though some may view individual difference of opinions a source of uncertainty, alternatively, I consider those moments as an opportunity for better understanding of broader perspectives. This is how the importance of the majority vote process of the board members serves our community best. We understand that after careful consideration and deliberation of any idea, the beneficial power of the Board of Trustees is truly represented when all board members respect and follow the outcome that decided by the majority vote. My life as a High Desert resident has allowed me to benefit from our local educational system from ages of toddler to adult. Additionally, I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to graduate from both Victor Valley Community College and California State San Bernardino. It is tremendously important to me that our community successfully maintains and exceeds its available opportunities for higher education for current and future generations. I currently have 2 children that benefit from the high school education system in the town of Apple Valley. The continued ability for my children to receive a high-quality education locally at Victor Valley Community College, as I did, inspires me to work to the highest standards along with other members of the board, trustees, with respect to managing both current and future needs of Victor Valley Community College. Personally, I recently retired from law enforcement in the federal system. I worked for FCC Victorville Complex here on Air Expressway Boulevard. Did that for 22 years. I retired in December. My last standing post within those walls was as a case manager, correctional treatment specialist. While I attended to those duties, it was a big obligation that we were to track and follow and give attainable goals to the population through the education process so they could reduce the risk of recidivism or repeating entry into the prison system. And I think I was fairly effective at that. I believe my colleagues would agree. The reason of retirement, though I was not age mandatory, it was just coming to an opportunity to do things from outside the razor wire. I did a lot of what I hoped was protecting our society and our communities through the efforts that I was doing, but I want to enter the actual workings of the community outside the wall, and this opportunity, as it has come up, has given me a bit of a motivation to kickstart to do something that is more familiar to me. I toned down what I was doing to work in security, even though I left security behind the walls, but now I have the open blue skies and clouds, and I get an opportunity to work with children on grade school campuses and not have to work with 100% convicted felons all day long, which kind of gives me a little bit of breathing room. So I am very motivated for the sake of my children who are getting ready to graduate this next year. She's a senior, my daughter Victoria. My son is starting his freshman year in high school. So I'm very motivated to come in here and hope that my kids, through my efforts, if I'm allowed, can have the same opportunity I did. Thank you.
Thank you. Stephen Richardson. Stephen, are you in the other room?
There's a slight delay in this phone.
The signal had to go around the world first, you know? That's how the internet works.
That's how the internet works.
So welcome, we're glad we found you.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I first wanted to reference that young lady that talked about sending care packages. I don't know if she's here, to soldiers. Yeah. Those care packages are amazing. For us soldiers in the combat zone, it means everything. We miss Christmas, we miss Thanksgivings, New Year's, Easter's, Halloween. Those packages are a lifeline for us. I think Jeremy can attest to that. So thank you so much for what you do. Okay. Due to the orientation, I think I have a fundamental knowledge of what you're expecting from me. Teamwork. The Army has ingrained in me how to work as part of a team, and not just within the Army, but sister services like the Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, and Marine Corps. And not just in our sister services, but with foreign governments too, foreign soldiers. I've worked with Aussies, Spaniards, Canadians, Afghans, Iraqis, Germans, Swedes, Norwegians. So they come from different backgrounds, so it's really tough to be a part of that team, but we got to do what we have to do. 2, being an active member of the community. My diverse background as a veteran and a small business owner and family man allows me to be a community bridge and buffer for the college. I think I can do that very well. 3, accountability. I'm accountable at all times and in all places. I seek responsibility and I take responsibility for my actions or inactions. As part of that responsibility, I've really learned the hard way about public praise and private admonition. I really learned the hard way about that, but I've learned that lesson. Trust and support. I believe in trust, but verify. I'll support Dr. Walden and my fellow board members if I'm appointed. I'll come prepared to be an active participant and to study up at each of the board meetings. I'll also respect the views of the academic senate and the department chairs, the various chairs. 5, fiscal responsibility. As a small business owner, I understand fiscal vision, budgeting, and accountability. I'm always looking at my cash flow to make sure everything's balanced. I have to balance my book, and as a community member, I would expect that the college also balances its books. Should I be appointed to the Area 5 trustee position, I'll run for re-election in November. I plan on placing signs in high visibility areas and trafficked areas of Apple Valley. Plan on sending out flyers to key demographics like the parents of college students and college age students, and knocking on doors and kissing babies. I plan on doing that. And if I'm not elected or appointed, I pledge to vote for the person that's appointed in November. So here's some things that you don't know about me. I'll probably have the dubious distinction of being the only centerfold on the board. I was featured in Army Magazine for being one of 50 soldiers selected to represent at the 2008 Army All-American Bowl. And I was paired with this student athlete. He was a senior at the time, Andrew Smith from Missouri. It was a great opportunity that I had to participate in that. Only 50 of us out of the entire Army were appointed. Education's a fundamental value of mine. I have a bunch of advanced degrees, and I currently teach. Those degrees were focused towards my business, and I teach in the construction industry several classes, and I always take the time when a student is struggling and they're asking me questions, I take the time to make sure that they, well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Selena Thimes, did I get it right? Was it close? That's because you're the last one.
Oh, really? Okay. So good evening, Dr. Walden, President Brady, and distinguished trustees. Thank you for this opportunity to come before you this evening. My name is Selena Thimes, and my goal is to use my skills, talents, and life experience to support the college and the community in the pursuit of enhancing the student experience here at VVC. I commend the excellent work that you are currently doing. As someone who has led organizational Cal-OSHA compliance programs that have been successful in annual and unannounced audits, I have great respect for your success during your recent ACCJC review, particularly when Dr. Walden shared about the beautification of the campus. This demonstrates that there is an organizational culture of maintaining compliance in this area and not only focusing on it during review time. That is commendable. I believe that as your partner, I can support broadening your reach within the community and the range of expertise amongst this body. I currently serve as a diversity and inclusion manager for a statewide nonprofit organization where I give leadership to the organizational development, implementation, and facilitation of our diversity, equity, and inclusion program. These strategies support more than 165 public health professionals statewide who serve communities within 50 of the 58 counties in California. As a high desert resident, I have had the honor of working alongside our community members, stakeholders, and decision makers on educational public health campaigns and legislation. An example here at VVC was in 2019, I had the pleasure of partnering with your ASB in laying the foundation for expanding your smoke-free campus policy to being 100% tobacco-free. I was happy to learn that you took that step, preparing our transfer students with a little more success, to be prepared for a little more success within the Cal State and the UC systems where tobacco use is prohibited.
Ultimately, my interest in this opportunity stems from my dedication to improving the social determinants of health impacting our community. Professionally, I have served in leadership roles in the private, government, and nonprofit sectors. My broad experience informs my ability to think critically about organizational development and support. More importantly, I believe that strong relationships are at the root of success within any organization. I possess a well-rounded view of the responsibilities of a board trustee. As a community advocate, I serve on the board of 2 arts-based nonprofits serving the High Desert. I also understand the role of setting the vision for the organizational leadership. In my current position, my approach is shaped by the objectives set directly by our CEO and board of directors. I believe my experience providing oversight and setting strategic plans for data collection and evaluation will support your goals of becoming eligible for the Aspen Prize and enrich each of the programs supporting this objective. I hope to improve student outcomes by enhancing the lens applied to identify opportunities for equity. This includes exploring the often unintentional, unidentified gaps that exist in the data collection and evaluation processes. I believe my frontline management experience for a top 10 Fortune 500 company informs my lens of the importance of organizational efficiency and fiscal responsibility. Additionally, I believe my current participation on the Victor Valley Union High School District Equity Task Force and Community Schools Steering Committees, as well as a host of other community connections, will support your work to maintain and expand your partnership. Thank you.
Perfectly timed. You got a lot of friends.
I have a lot of community support that I partner with.
That's great. It's 6:44. We've now gone an hour and 15 minutes. And the next round is going to be some questions. So I'm going to ask my fellow trustees if we take a 10-minute break.
The delay.
But we've got to have some rules here. I'm going to ask the trustees to use the bathrooms at that end of the building, and that none of us have any conversation amongst each other, so it would look inappropriate, okay? We all know people on in here. I mean, we all have friends. So I think it's really important we do that, and we'll come back here in 10 minutes. Now, I want to talk to our council about our student trustees' input on this, and then the second part will go into questions and things. So we have 10 minutes. We'll be back here at 6:55 exactly. Thanks.
So when we go to, you know where we had protest? I can't think of the name. What's that room called?
Which one?
Where we have closed session?
Isn't that the West Conference Room?
The West Wing.
So that's it, West Wing. Not to be confused with the other one. Wow.
Not confused with the other West Wing. Either side.
Certainly.
Dang, you were going on their application. That was smart. That was actually really smart to keep track that way, right on their thing. Right. Super smart. I'm just trying to remember. Know where to answer.
These three. So I brought a copy of everything.
Oh, yeah.
Everything, yeah.
I wanted to make sure you had
Yeah, I saw it.
So are you mad at me?
There was a question that slipped my mind until just now.
As far as amongst us? Well, there'll be a point for you. Hold on. Hello? Wings up in 45 seconds.
HR have it.
Some of them I've seen turn green when it's live, which is easier. It took
And
me
the
a moment.
flashing in the red.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was red.
Oh, that one? Yeah.
Oh, it cleared out a
Sticks its
little.
nose in all of our business, man.
So how long were you on vacation?
1 week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I left
Out
on the
of
1st,
Seattle?
out of Seattle. It was fabulous.
Was
I
that your
highly
first
recommend
cruise?
It was my first long cruise. I've done like, the weekend cruises.
That doesn't count.
No, this was amazing.
We did
Shouldn't
a
have bad
Baltic
breath.
cruise out of Stockholm.
Yes.
That was 7 days, but we got there.
So she booked a cruise while we were there, so she's doing a
got a discount.
14-day transatlantic.
I'm sure that all the trustees up here, including our student trustee, feel the way that I do. We have some great people here tonight. We're really,
Yeah.
really blessed. The challenge is only one of you will be selected, but I will tell you this, every one of you did beyond what I think our expectations were. And the passion that you had and the things that you said and the homework that you did was great. So the next part of this is going to be kind of a question and answer deal. So there were a couple ways that we could do this. And to make it easy and fair for the Board of Trustees as well as our student trustees. So the Board of Trustees has a scoring sheet that we score, and at the end of the questions by the trustees, those sheets will go on over here to Katie and Michelle, and they will tabulate those and bring those back for us to take a look at. They'll announce what numbers that you had, and then from there, the board will decide how we move forward. So with that, I would suggest that our Board of Trustees open it up for questions. There's, I thought, do we go down the list and say to Mrs. Berta first, do you have any questions? Let's just let the board ask questions of those people that they want. Come up, your response is limited to 1 minute to kind of keep things going. And with that, I'm going to open it up to our Board of Trustees to ask whatever questions that you'd like.
Robert, you change it to 1 minute?
We want to check, make sure you wasn't asleep there.
There you go.
Good.
Response to 1 minute.
Okay,
Okay.
it's open. Call whoever you'd like and ask whatever question you would like.
All right, I'll break.
Actually, our
You wanna
student
go
trustees.
first?
I can go first, yeah.
First. There you
I
go.
have
Break
a
the ice.
question specifically for, I'm gonna butcher your last name, Jason. Yes, yeah. My question was related to some of the topics you touched on here, and I was hoping to get more clarification or elaboration on or some things you mentioned. Specifically with your touch on current and future programs, the dual enrollment. I was wondering if there was something specifically you have seen that needed improvement, or what specifically about it. And you said programs as in multiple. Were there any other programs you had researched or done that you think would be that you would want to implement more in the college, or that aren't already implemented, or issues, or how do you see yourself?
There is
seeing
already
more?
currently administrative justice program here, but if I had any feedback to provide, it would probably be because of my work history that I would probably tend to go towards that avenue of maybe following up through any needs of that particular program because of my personal experience.
Okay.
Anybody else have a question? If you were selected tonight, would you be rerunning in November of this year?
I haven't made up my mind for running after this particular selection process, but I am very open to the idea.
Okay, great. Okay. Any other questions by the trustees?
No,
Okay.
sir, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next question.
You want me to go? Can I call up, I'm gonna go with first names, Laura, Jeremy, and Selena, please.
Laura Asparagus. I'll never forget it. It works.
So my question, I actually have 3 questions. I'll ask them individually, but they're for all 3 of you. First question is, if selected, would you be committed to running in November to keep the seat?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, definitely. All right. Second question. I'll preface it by saying a lot of people seek out seats on school boards. My microphone's not on, sorry, Tim. And a lot of people seek out seats on school boards and positions like this because they truly have aspirations for a higher office. They're looking to get on a city council or a town council. They're looking to run for Congress, and they're looking to use this as an opportunity, a springboard to get their name out there. Truth is, they don't have much interest in being here. They want to use this place to get to where they're going. Do any of the 3 of you have aspirations for, and it's a little disparaging, but it's how people in politics use the term, a higher office, city council, town council, Congress, Senate, state assembly, anything like that?
President. Got to throw in president, you never know.
Yeah, president.
President.
No, I'm interested in here.
Okay.
No, I'm interested in filling the gaps that are occurring. And if I could say a little bit more, I am a product of the community college system. And when I came out of high school, I was accepted to all of the 4-year universities that I applied to, but the gap that happened for me was finance. I could not figure out how to make it work, so I found myself at the local community college. And even that was 900 years ago, but even in that state, I couldn't figure out how to make the transfer. So as you can see, it took me a long time to acquire my education, to figure out how to pay for college. And so I'm really excited about the work that the foundation is doing, offering scholarships to students, but I really want to look at the cultural and lifestyle gaps that are occurring in our community that are maybe hindering our students from progressing.
When I was up here speaking, I made the joke about, coming back to the desert. I love the desert now, and I truly want to give back to this community. I have 3 daughters, and two of them are 12, one of them is 9, and I know that they're going to be going through the educational process and going to school, and I'm already encouraging them to look at when they get into high school doing dual enrollment and things like that, because it's that important to me. It really, what this place has done for me, I just want to try to give that back to this community. This community only. I don't have any desire for any higher office or anything like that.
All right. And then my next question relates to time. That's why I kind of hemmed and hawed about whether it was 2 or 3 questions or really 4. Time, basically what I'm looking for is your level of commitment. So I think board meetings are the second Tuesday. As long as Joe's the president, they tend to go on until like midnight. He's very disorganized and things run amok and he drags along. But not only the time commitment here on the Tuesdays, but the time commitments for things like The ASB every year has their retreat, kind of run by Mr. Robert Sewell over there. So that's a weekend. This past year, the entire board traveled to Washington, D.C. with our students where, to be honest, and I love to say it about you and your team, they did such a good job that we all just kind of stood or sat in various congressmen or senators' offices and just looked pretty because they did all the work. But it was a time commitment. It was a weekend away from.
It was a week. It was like
Or
longer.
yeah, that was
it was way
that was a
longer than
week. That one was long.
It was 9 pounds.
It was 9 pounds.
That's how I mentioned that trip was 9 pounds.
Right. I think we all gained a few pounds on that trip.
Thank you, Robert.
Good food. Yeah. Thanks, Robert. So about that time commitment, are you committed to doing what it takes?
Like tomorrow, for example. Are you free tomorrow, all
Right,
of you?
tomorrow.
Wednesday even.
Tomorrow and Wednesday. How's the rest of your week looking? Mine's looking very busy.
Well, I learned a lot during the initial meeting in the evening. That was really informative, and they hadn't touched on a lot of travel, but they made that evident that the whole board went on to travel. I love to travel, so I'm down for that. But also, just the participation in college events going on.
Yes.
That was really exciting to me. So I'm in. I make my own schedule, so I'm my boss. So I tell me when I can take time off or when I can be wherever I want.
All right.
Yes, I am committed to spending the time. I changed my career because I'm a community advocate at heart. And so what I do is do community events all the time, in addition to my, professional responsibilities. But I spend a lot of time here on your campus at events. I was just at a dance recital not too long ago here. So I'm already very familiar with some of the things that you may be doing in the community and being at the places where you are. Like you all were at the Victor Valley Union High School District Awards. I was there too, sitting at a table. So, and being a part of that process. So it's very much a part of who I already am.
Perfect.
Same, I have no issues whatsoever with the schedule. My 20 years of being in the Army, of doing various things, my family is very used to me being kind of all over the place, doing traveling, doing school, and all of that. So not only am I available, but I know I would have that support from my family as well to be able to participate in whatever is necessary of me. And I don't view it as a chore or something that I have to do, but something I get to do, something I'm privileged to do. So.
All right. I think I already know the answer. This was a kind of a tag-along question to that one. Everybody's willing to partake in training as it becomes available. We have our conferences through various organizations that offer excellent training. Some of it's as close as locally in Apple Valley, but some is up in Burlingame. Some is, where was the last one, Joe? Dana Point? Were you in Dana Point?
Vegas,
Torrey Pines.
Torrey Pines.
Las
all over.
Vegas, yeah, okay. So
Palm
training,
Springs,
everybody's
yeah.
good with that. I already knew you were all gonna say yes. And then final question for Laura only, just because you made a comment about this. You said that you have aspirations of teaching in higher ed.
Yeah.
Do you understand that if you're appointed on the board, you cannot work at Victor Valley College?
Yes.
You could not be a part-time or full-time instructor here?
Yes.
Okay, you're aware of that? You still?
Yes, very good.
Okay. I didn't wanna,
No.
you get
Crush my
appointed,
dreams.
you get appointed and then you go, you guys ruined my life.
No,
Like,
no.
I mean, we're totally going to
Somewhere
for
else
whoever
it
gets appointed, but.
I'm not even looking right now.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure
Thank
that perhaps if you were appointed, you wouldn't be getting a big surprise that door at least here closed. So that's it. Thank you. Jen apparently thinks I've gone too long.
I know you're paid by the word.
Oh, right.
He's
got-
a well-known
you got
attorney
Jeff
and he
over
is
there.
paid
You
by
got
the
for
word.
the Joe comments.
You got Jeff over there too.
He's paid
Hey,
by the word too. He paid.
Stab her under the table.
No, she's fine.
Thanks.
You're good.
I won't run over my fellow trustee, but if you ever got caught or you ever got arrested, he's the guy you'd want to call. And we do run meetings on time because I go to bed about 8:50.
That's right.
I will say this, and I think Trustee Wood's comment, you made a comment about, do you have an issue with your family? This is not just a little part-time deal. My first year, I probably was spending 30 hours a week. Now, I didn't have a team like this. I was kind of on my own, and the team that we have out here was not the team. So I had to do all this on my own. So it is a real big, it's a huge commitment. And I will tell you this, and when you ask Trustee Wood about education, and everybody knows I'm a real big proponent. I'm also a big proponent, if you go to these things, you come back and make a report. Taxpayers are paying for it. It's not a fam trip. It's not a trip to go have fun and lie next to the pool, but to come back. I was just telling this to Dr. Walden today. So whoever is awarded tonight, and I believe that we are going to make an award tonight, I'm going to give you this book as a gift. I'm going to ask my fellow trustees to sign it. Why is this important? I snatched the last one at Torrey Pines. And when I picked it up, they said, that's our last book. I said, it's my book. No, let me tell you why. And I said to them, I had actually looked at this the day before and I went through it. This is by far the best book that has ever been written about being a trustee. And I wish that so the state just did this, and they did it because people like me from the business world couldn't understand how this operates, okay? This is, if you could read this little, I think it'd take anybody in this room 3 hours to read it, you'd be on the run to being a great trustee. So whoever, I brought this back, we stored it took me an hour a day to find it because I misplaced it all the time at my age. I want to give that to you as a gift. So whoever here tonight, okay.
Very nice.
Okay. Do you have a question?
I do. I didn't know we were allowed to pull 3 people up here, but since he did it, I'll just ask you all the same question.
Whatever Trustee Wood likes is what we'll do.
If he started it, I'll just finish it. Okay, a big struggle that I've had this past year was, and networking is a huge part of this job, but networking with other colleges and getting us connected not only with VVC and our high desert community, but local colleges as well, San Bernardino, Barstow, and we've struggled with that a lot, especially with Barstow College. Do any of you have any intention of building connections with other colleges to benefit us as well? Or just your focus is wholly on this college specifically?
Absolutely. My focus is whatever you need. I will say, as we were looking at updating the tobacco policy here at VVC, which I want to say, VVC was actually leading Region 9 at the time in policies. There are some folks in Region 9, I can send you a scorecard and let you, determine what's happening. But a big part of what you all were doing at that time was connecting with the other colleges in Region 9. And so I took the position of positioning you all as the leadership in that conversation at that year. And even at General Assembly, I believe that you actually all put forth some discussion items where everyone in the state was talking about it. So VVC was there really leading the industry and talking about that, because in 2019, people were not accepting what was happening with the flavored tobacco and the electronic tobacco situation. Now we all know it's an epidemic.
I think that Selena brought up a good point of what does the board need? What are our needs? We need to project. I know that Victor Valley College probably works with universities in California.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I've spent the last couple of years spending a lot of time learning how to network. I was a chamber member. I was a member of some women in business groups up here in the high desert. And so I kind of honed networking skills pretty well. I've made some really good relationships with people. And I think that that's the key to networking. It's not what can I do for you and you can do for me. It's let's meet on a personal level, grab a cup of coffee,
Yes.
get to know each other, and we'll see that we have common goals.
Absolutely. Nothing is done in a vacuum. If I was selected, I know that I would be working with a great team in order to build those relationships. And the VVC doesn't exist in a vacuum either, just like they exist to serve the community. That also, one of the ways that they serve the community is to get students on their way, on their path to wherever that may be, whether that's through technical or through a 4-year. And one of the things that I do on a regular daily basis is that collaboration. I work remote, so a lot of that is lost. And so what I do is I want to call, I want to reach out to people. I don't want to just send emails. I don't want to just, hey, send this off and hope that I hear back from somebody, but have that relationship. And so that's something that if I was called to do, that was something that the student body would do, I would definitely work towards that, having that relationship, building those collaborations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does the board have any other questions for any of the,
I do.
you do? Trustee Pinkerton.
Can I have Fred Dearborn come up here and Brian Gillespie and Starly Luna? Basically, I'm just going to ask one question, and it's going to be the same question for each of you. And what would be, when you, one of the questions first is, are you guys going to, if you get appointed, are you going to run in the election for this year?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay. And the next thing I want to ask you is, what 3 things would you focus on when you got on the board?
For myself, I like the idea of building consensus. I recently saw a quote from Stephen Covey. He said, seek to understand and then seek to be understood. And so it's kind of a value for me. I think in a sense that we all have common goals. It's just different ways of understanding how we might get there. So consensus building is big. As everybody agrees, student success is paramount. And so I would like to work with fellow board members if I were chosen to help the college continue its growth, this phenomenal growth that it's experiencing right now.
I think initially, just getting to know the board, getting to know the board members and the direction that everyone is looking to go. One thing I'm passionate about with our school, and we're really starting to partner, is the CTE. I think that's in what we're seeing happening in the community, that's going to be very important in their future. And then one statistic I saw recently, about 80% of the students at a community college want to go on to a 4-year degree, but only about 10% of them actually ever get there. And so how do we prepare our students to move on to a 4-year university and be successful after they leave the college? Those would be the 3 things I would focus on.
What I would like to bring to the board is that, of course, support the mission and the goal of this institution, which I've had before, and of course, tuition reimbursement that is affordable, work advancement, and growth for students. But because teaching is my passion and also strategic planning, reading books and being exposed out there is that we really need to look into, in our strategic planning, about teaching robotics and chat GPT and all those AI that we need to get started at this level of education so that our students can then streamline into higher, like to MIT and all these programs in AI, artificial technology. And of course, support the goal that you have here for student outcome, because that's who we serve, students.
All right, thank you very much. Does anybody else? Questions? Okay. Thank you.
Trustee?
Come
back, gotta come
I'm
back.
not done with you just yet. I'm so
We
sorry.
always save the best for last.
Yep, you got a face.
One of you
Jen.
had mentioned something, and I can't remember who because I was writing it down, and it kind of sparked a question. I mean, it'll be for all 3 of you. One of you mentioned that 80% of students go to 4 years and only 10% make it. But as you know, community college is a very diverse background with students, not all of them who want to go to 4 years. Some of us are just looking for a certificate to go into the workforce. What are not only your thoughts about those students, but how do you plan on helping those students in our community once they get their certificates aligned with the rest of our community into going straight into the workforce because they have no intentions of going to a 4-year or transferring?
I can start. I think what I said was 80% of students in community college said they want to get a 4-year degree and only 10%, so they expressed interest initially. I think it's the partnerships, and Victor Valley College is already doing a tremendous job in creating partnerships with industry. And I think, the CTE program here, like I said, my daughter wants to go into culinary. She has no desire to do math or English. She wants to cook. And that's something that she's passionate about and she can be very successful at. So, working with Tyler in that department and working with, local industry and trying to get those partnerships so when the kids do get done and they do have their certificates, they have already a place to go. There are so many jobs coming to the high desert, and this college is starting to prepare students for the jobs that are going to be the future. And we talked about AI. That's a huge issue. It's something that is going to be the future, but it's also in education we're dealing with. How do you teach this in a way that kids are not cheating, but they're using it properly? And so there's a lot of things that we need to do moving forward. Thank you.
I also would like to say what he said, partnership and networking, because our students after graduating should have jobs. And I think that is very important, and that should be one of our mission, right? Work advancement and gaining skills. Not only just degrees, but skills that makes them marketable right away. Thank you.
I think we're already doing this, but of course, we need to, on an ongoing basis, be working closely with business and industry to make sure that the needs that they have are what we are offering so that we can fill those positions. And secondly, we need to communicate closely with them about what we do have those connections so that business and industry unions are aware of those programs that we have so that we can help get our students employed by those employers in the high desert.
I'm satisfied, thank you.
You're satisfied, thank
Yes,
you?
I'm good.
Wait, you're never satisfied.
Okay, I think you guys can
That's
sit.
it, thanks.
Good.
Can I call Berta to the podium? Hi,
Hello,
sorry to put you on the spot.
that's okay.
So I just wanted to ask kind of similar questions in regards to running again if you're appointed.
Yes,
Okay. And any interest in any other offices?
no,
Okay, that's all I had.
okay.
I'm
Well,
easy.
All right.
Thank
So
you.
that's the only question? I'd just like to ask Ms. Sullivan, if you got on the board, how would you go about assimilating yourself with this group as a new board member?
Well, first of all, I would read more about it. I come from government, so I do know, very familiar with how the process is, the voting process, the agendas, the meetings, the requirements. I've been doing this for a long time. I would definitely read what you are working on. I would get myself educated on that. I have watched your minutes, read on it, and like I said, I'm a member of the community for many, many years. So I have been in the community participating, actively participating. I did take a little bit of time off due to some personal issues, but I'm back. I am joining boards again. I like to give back to the community. I'm very resourceful, and I like to network. And I do like to build those bridges with individuals and other organizations. So,
If you were chosen, would you rerun in November?
yes.
Okay. Do you have any time constraints that would not allow you to be at all of our meetings?
I am currently retired, and I do have a current job, but I do have a lot of time on my hands. I have no children, and so my passion is to give back, and I have done so, dedicated my entire career to public service. So yes, I am willing to do that.
Great,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any input?
Discussion or question?
I want to be sure that we ask every candidate here whatever question we need to before we collect our scoring sheets and send those over to Katie and to Michelle.
I think for now I'm satisfied with questions.
You are? Trustee Tarpley?
I have no further questions.
Trustee Wood?
Good, thanks.
Trustee Pinkerton?
Same.
Trustee Brady? I'm in.
Okay, it's only crazy if you answer yourself.
I'm the only guy. Listen, when you get up at 4 o'clock every morning and you turn on the news, you win every argument in the last 20 years. That's why I've got 1,000, yeah, talk to yourself. Okay, so with that, what I'm gonna do is ask the trustees to forward your scoring sheets to me to be, collected by Michelle. You can grade a person a 3, a 2, or 1. What do you figure, it'll take about 5 minutes? 10? At the most? So you suggest we do
There's
another
only
break?
4 sheets, so we could do that quick. She's real smart. She got a partner now.
So are you suggesting we take another 10-minute break? Yeah.
The West Wing.
A West Wing?
That's
Wow.
fancy.
5 minutes?
5 minutes is.
Yeah. As soon as we have these complete,
You guys did not make this easy, just FYI.
yeah, you score, I mean, if you're only.
Should we fold them?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
We're just scoring the top 3, right?
No, you
Yeah.
score, well, you can score as many as you want.
Okay,
She's gonna do the final 10.
okay.
Well, no, you
You just
can't.
want to fold
Wait,
them and
hold on,
pass
you
them
can't
down, I'll hand
hold
them
on.
off to
I scored
Michelle.
everybody.
Wait. You can't score everybody. You score the top 3, your first choice, second
Right,
choice,
that's what the
third
instructions
choice.
said.
They're,
Okay,
Oh,
so
my
we don't.
Lanta.
so you've got to pick your first choice, second
Can you give
choice,
them a new
third
sheet?
choice.
Do you have any blank
That's it,
sheets?
3.
Just
You have
3,
blank
right?
sheets, Michelle?
Yeah, just 3,
Not
yeah.
all of them.
Not all, don't
Okay,
score all
okay,
of them.
Here, I got
okay.
it.
Michelle's gonna string us
Ooh,
up
you're
if we
voting as
score all of them.
Dan Walden.
No, that's not my name.
That's why
I don't
not.
have my, I don't have my.
Not
name.
even the president of the board got this thing correct.
On the record, I was correct.
I don't have my name on it. Is it
Yes.
You wanna fold
Do
it?
you want my glasses?
marked in my name?
You better initial it. You just crossed off your name. Fold it in half per the attorney.
Now, let me be clear.
It's fine.
If you pick 3 candidates, but you give each a numerical number, or one only gets 1 number, the other 2 get,
There's
So-
a 3, a 2, and a 1, and that's it.
Right.
Right?
Of your top 3 choices, the person who's your number 1 choice would have 3 points. 2 for your second choice, 1 for your third.
My heart is racing.
And this is just a method to try and identify
Top contenders.
exactly. Then the conversation will start.
wow, I wonder how I got through college.
Fold it in half.
Oh,
Yes,
Joe, pay attention here.
I got you. I got you, boo.
Yep.
It's almost 8 o'clock, right?
It is, it's almost its bedtime.
All right, we'll be out of here by 45 minutes.
Oh, by 4?
No,
Oh,
45
my
minutes.
Atlanta. I'm an old lady.
The plan was to get everybody out of here by 9 o'clock tonight, but I think we're doing really well. Why? We've got a great audience and we have a lot of great people. Again, congrats. So we're gonna take a break,
5 minutes.
7:35.
Oh. I'm mad at
Again,
everybody.
don't interact with the board, please. We'd love to talk to you, we just can't.
Sit down, Todd. Todd, sit down.
Is this on?
Yeah, it's on.
Has to be on solid. Yeah, there.
Quit pushing the button. Okay, we're good.
I was always challenged as a kid. I'm challenged as an adult. So Mr. Jeff Morris, our legal counsel, longest standing legal counsel I can think of. I think, someday we'll erect a statue for you.
I hope so. That would be nice.
But we can't do that while you're on Earth. We'll do
Sure,
it after.
that's fine.
That is just wrong.
Something to look forward to.
Oh my gosh, Joe. You are getting tired.
All right.
He's a good guy. Good team player. So would you announce the
Sure.
results where we are today?
And what I'm going to do is I'm just announcing the total numbers for the applicants who received one of the top three choices. And this is just a starting point for further conversation by the board, just to kind of see if there's a consensus there. So Fred Dearborn had a total of 3 points. Laura Derekis, did I get? DeVericus, okay. A total of 9 points. Jeremy Garrido, total of 3 points. Brian Gillespie, a total of 3 points. Selena Times, a total of 5 points. And Stephen Tyrell, 1 point. So that is the allocation of that scoring method. And again, that is just for a starting point for the discussion by the board.
Well, wow.
How many
That's,
do I know?
So Brian Gillespie had a total of 3 points.
3 points. And then one for who?
Stephen Tyrell.
Tyrell.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. We got a great group in here tonight.
Yep.
I will make a motion that we appoint Laura.
With 9 points, I second.
Motion by trustee Wood, second by trustee Tarpley.
All right, I have to adjust the motion.
Oh, so we got it. I got to use
Are you
my
going to
little,
announce that if they fail, that they can't be considered a win?
what's that?
If it fails, they cannot or can?
Cannot.
Cannot, okay.
What was the statement?
If they fail, if this motion fails, they can't be considered again.
That's what the board wanted to do.
Okay.
Well, it's not that I wanted to, Dan and I discussed this, not that I wanted to do it. Robert Sewell, please chip in. If a motion is made and the motion fails, it would be inappropriate to remake the same exact motion during the course of the same meeting. Am I correct about that under Robert's rules?
Robert's rules in case you voted against it, you want to change your mind later, you have to bring that back at a future meeting. Only if you voted, if you caused it to fail, would you come back and then vote to change your vote.
Right, it would be illegal to do it at this meeting. We would have to have a future meeting.
You don't have to do that. You can make a different decision.
Okay.
It's up to the board.
All right.
I would say this, that I think this board has always made some great decisions, and I think whatever we have done, we've tried to do. We've always done what's in the best interest of the college, so we have a motion by trustee Wood, we have a second by trustee Tarpley. So, and student trustee.
Discussion.
Do we have any discussion?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I still have 45 minutes to get to bed, so. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'll just start by saying I'm satisfied with this choice. I liked her answers to some of the questions I had, and I know I asked a lot of questions. Her involvement in education I liked, and I believe she mentioned views on the words are slipping from my mind, AI kind of topics, and I think that's very relevant to the kind of school district we're coming into today. So I'm happy with this.
So for my talking point, I just want to say that I just looked at the numbers. 9 is, very extremely higher than any of the others that came forward, and so that's why I seconded that motion.
That's why I made the motion.
Interesting.
The motion made itself.
We call that deductive reasoning. You know, again, there's nothing worse than being in a decision-making process like this when you have, you know, the amount of resumes, and I can tell you this, that collectively amongst this group, 4 people, there was probably close to 50 hours put in. I know that with one of our board members and a very, very, very close friend that everybody knows how close that we are, Trustee Pinkerton spent almost 20 hours. I know how much time that Trustee Tarpley put in and how much time Trustee Wood did. We've got a really good group of people. I would say this, no matter what happens tonight, be involved, get involved, stay involved. Guys like me, I'm 67 and a half. You know, we're not going to continue to always do this. This college needs great talent. We need people to keep coming here. I can tell you that this college is this community college is going to be the #1 community college in this country, hopefully by the year 2027. Why? Because the board's #1 job is to hire the right person. And that one was here, and all of his great staff are out there. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I'll tell you this, it is really, I'm going to go home tonight and really be bummed that there were some finalists and I'll tell you this all publicly, and I know I'm probably not supposed to do this. I love to have lunch with every one of you. People know I do a lot of lunch. I like to get to know people. I want you to be involved. There's obviously a calling for everybody that's in this room tonight. So I want to thank Jeff. I want to thank Katie. Katie, welcome to your first meeting. Haley, you're doing a great job, Michelle. Steve, the fellow trustees, I want to thank you all. So with that, I'm going to call.
Can I make one comment?
Absolutely.
Not about this candidate here that you motioned on, but the rest of you, I'd like to hire a bunch of you. I hope you look at the job postings, because I was really impressed.
No, I'll say this. So when we were on a break, Dr. Wall and I were sitting here talking to Trustee Tarpley, and he said the problem now that he's running into, which is a good problem, because I think we have a huge labor problem in this country and a bigger one here in the high desert. He said that the committee that goes out and looks at the faculty or whoever they're gonna hire here brings in 3 finalists, and he wishes he could hire all 3.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. The 5 of you tonight, the 6 of you could all make a great board together. And I'm bummed that 1 of you will get it and 5 of you will not. Be sure to let us know. We'd love to have lunch with you and all that. So I want to call for the vote. Let's call for the vote. Yep. This will come up here electronically. I don't know, do we have a board back here? Yeah, you'll be able to see it. Oh, yep. Advisory vote. Oh, I'm sorry, student advisory. Oh,
Yes.
Joe. Student advisory. Oh, God. Thank you, Trustee
Student advisory
Wood.
vote is yes.
My brother helped me out again. And while we're waiting for the tabulation, there is one piece of good news for this new trustee, whoever it is. This will be your only meeting. Tomorrow will be your only and last meeting in this room. The next meeting will be in a building that some of us have dreamed of for years.
Well,
and
don't
hopefully,
jinx this.
hopefully.
I know.
Jinx it.
Hey, John, there's no pressure here, is
Knock
there?
on wood.
Hey, look at John. He's
like,
John's
you just
going,
upset the
Joe, you're killing me, Larry.
construction
John's
You know that commercial,
"We
you're
gotta
killing
replace
me,
all the
Larry?
drywall
Kill me,
again."
Joe. Kill me, Joe. Sorry, dude. Okay.
You're,
Oh, here. Want to use that? So I gotta use one of these. I hate using my finger.
Uh-oh. Something happened
Click.
right here?
No. Just go back there.
hold on a second,
Do you
Michelle.
need Michelle?
She puts up the top.
Yeah, you click out. Uh-oh. So now they're trying to sell her something.
Who's on the internet right now?
Yeah.
Oh, that just pops up randomly all the time.
Her favorite presidential candidate popped up.
What the heck just happened?
John, that was an inside joke.
Maybe.
There we go.
Thank you, Michelle. You're the bestest.
You know, we turned down your resignation or your
Yeah, we did.
retirement.
While you were telling the votes, we were like,
We called CalPERS and said, well, she really hadn't been working here. Think we're kidding, huh? Okay. Katie, this thing goes around the world about 5 times. In our new building, we're not gonna have this problem. We have a unanimous vote, and we have a brand-new trustee tonight. And Laura, you're gonna have to help me with your last name. Not asparagus, but DeVericus?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go put it on my mirror at home, and my wife will keep doing this until I get it right. So why don't you stand on up and come on up here and address the board?
When I walked in this room, the amount of people here, the support, the excitement, the seriousness, but also the lightheartedness, it's really a place where I feel like I belong. And so I'm very excited. I appreciate you taking the time to look at every candidate. When I heard there were 14, I was like, that's a lot. Can there seriously be 14 people that qualified? And there really were. And I can't believe that I'm the one standing up here. And I appreciate it so much that you took the time, you understood what I was saying, it came through, obviously, and I can't wait to get to know you all. Thank you so much.
And I need to see you right after this.
Yes, sir.
So,
You're already getting called in the principal's office.
I need that vote too.
Kind of good news, bad news, because we have a short time. We've set a room up for you tonight to stay here so that you can start going. Let me give you this. Well, you know what? I'm going to ask all the trustees before you leave here to autograph this. Okay, don't leave here without it.
Okay, I will not. No, I'm gonna have to look through it tonight. My plans tonight have changed.
Yeah.
and tomorrow night, and the next night.
Right, yeah.
Everybody, please stay involved. We need you
Yes,
involved. I
please.
can't tell you how, I mean, this is great to have this kind of involvement here. This is really pretty cool. Thanks. Let me see here. I have a motion, well, no, wait a minute, I have to read something legally here.
Yep.
Want to do it correctly?
While he's getting it out, I want to verbalize the same thing. This process was not easy. I had no idea, like, I walked that way, I said to Jen, like, man, I'm stressed out about this. I had no idea how this tally was gonna come out. I was hoping that it didn't come out like 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, right, where it left us in nowhere land. But for the people who were not selected tonight, it's not because you weren't good enough. Everybody was exceptional.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the level of talent in this room and in this applicant pool is crazy. You know, when we were going into this process, I was super worried about having applicants. Well, we actually had a discussion amongst all of us in a pre-meeting, and we talked about what are we going to do if we get no applicants. We were worried that we might have no applicants.
Yeah, it was a
right?
special meeting to decide how to do this process. So it was.
And so, you know, as going through this process, one of the concerns was we were going to get no applicants. And then the concern is, what if the applicants are all really bad, right? How do we get through that? And then I got the packets, and I was like, I read the first one, and I was like, wow, like, this person's amazing. And I read the next one, and I went, uh-oh, uh-oh, this one's amazing also. And the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And again, tonight, getting to meet all of you and hear from all of you, I would be happy and proud and honored to sit up here with every single one of you that stepped up and spoke tonight. So to everyone in the room, leaving here not the selected person, it may be a blessing. There's been nights on the board when I've looked down there and I thought, man, why did you guys pick me when I got picked? But please do stay involved. Please do reach out to the foundation. There's other ways to get involved on campus. Robert Sewell's a great person to talk about that with. He says no, but he is. And I wish actually the foundation board reps were here tonight as well to meet everybody, but I'm a little heartbroken that we couldn't pick everybody. I feel really bad. I don't want anybody to leave here feeling bad. Everybody was excellent, and you guys made this process horribly difficult for what that's worth.
And I'll second him. I'm glad Dr. Walden and Morris over here talked me out of fighting for a right to tally the points, because I would have been struggling tonight as well. But you were great applicants.
And Trustee Wood, to let you know, the reason that we picked you was your leadership, your tenacity, you're articulate, and if I got arrested, I would hire you as my attorney.
Hey, Torrey Pines is coming to arrest you for stealing that book.
No, I took it from the state. We paid for it a whole bunch of times.
A whole bunch of times.
A whole bunch of times. So item number 5, adjournment, is the intention of Victor Valley Community College District to comply with the Americans with Disability Act in all respects. Any person with a disability may request that the agenda be made available in an appropriate alternative format. The request for a disability-related modification or accommodation may be made by a person with a disability who requires a modification or accommodation in order to participate in a public meeting of Monica Martinez, Victor Valley College, 18422 Bear Valley Road, Victorville, 92395-5849, or by calling 760-245-4271, extension 2455 from 8:30 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m., Monday through Friday, at least 48 hours prior to the meeting to make reasonable arrangements. Government Code, Section 54954.2. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
I have a motion by Trustee Wood. I need a second.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Tarpley. We are
Sorry.
adjourned. Thank you.
You did? That was a good run. I don't act like you don't remember. No, I remember. You said, I picked over and I picked over.
I was pretty tough on this.